evening, traders from across the globe, and welcome to the 1348th edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar Carboni, and that would be me. Good evening, traders. This video, considered the weekend webinar, and I love doing those weekend webinar videos, is coming to you on a Sunday night for Trading Sunday through Monday. That's July 27th, 2015. As we know, futures trading is extremely risky, causes substantial financial loss, is not suitable for all traders. You must have risk capital to lose. You've got to use your stops. It's risky to play this game. But there are a lot of you who are professional that know to put your stops in first and know how to play this game. This video is directed at you. Rock and roll for you traders that are still surviving in this insane volatility. All right, so the weekend webinar. A few questions have come my way over the last 10 days, especially in the last 3 days, and I thought I'd address the three most important questions. One, why are commodities dropping? I will show you the answer technically in this video. Two, Oscar, what does the Omni and you, of course, think about gold? I will answer that in this video as I've been answering it for the last 2 years, maybe 3. Is the top in for U.S. indices? That's a very interesting question. Of the three, this seems easy. This seems easy. Gold and the commodities. Is the top in the indices? That's not an easy question, but I promise to answer all three in today's weekend webinar. Traders, I'm going to show you in just a few moments a bunch of charts. Now, I will tell you this. I had 55 charts prepared for this video. Would have taken an hour to get through it. As I went through the charts, I recognized I don't need that many charts to show you a fantastic argument for why we've got a red Omni in ES, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, the usual suspects. Why I don't need all that many charts is because charts are very telling, and we don't need to complicate an already complicated matter. A complicated matter is trying to figure out what the markets will do using the fundamentals out there, and then looking at a chart and trying to group them together, and that makes a very, very complicated situation a lot more complicated. What we try to do is remove all of the fundamentals because, let's face it, they're in the charts anyway. As I've mentioned in many videos, a chart is merely a visual look at all the fundamental news and government reports being released and traders' reaction to such. Your reaction, all of our reactions to those reports, every bit of that is in the chart. Why would you need to read the news unless you just feel like getting educated? I read the news every single week and I read every paper I can get my hands on. All you Omniacs know that. But when it comes to making the calls, it is strictly from the charts. And I'm going to show you why we will continue just taking trades or calls from our charts. If you like the charts that you are about to see, come on down to livewithoscar.com. If you'd like to learn how to call the Omni for yourselves, Oscar's Market Navigational Indicator. If you would like to learn how to call the Omni for yourselves, I've got 2 open seats left for my September Omni Camp. Omni Camp is September 11th through the 14th. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. These are 4 full days. You will be with me in a very small, intimate room, and I will teach the Omni to you. 2 open seats left. Grab them before they're gone. Call us 702-629-4755 or simply come to the site, click the OmniCamp banner, and fill out the application. I'll call you back. That's it for the advertising, right? Are we done? I can go to work? You sure? Yeah, now I get to go to work. Traders, with no further ado, let me show you some charts. Traders, the first question on the board, why are commodities dropping? The simple question is this. Look at the charts. The dollar index has been rallying for months and months on end. This is a weekly chart. So every one of these bars represents a full week's worth of buying and selling and a whole week's worth of ranges, each bar. This has been going up for quite some time. Now, as you know, commodities in this world are priced by dollars. So you can put commodities on this side and the dollar on that side, and let's call this a teeter-totter. If the dollar goes up, inherently commodities have to come down. That's what happens on a teeter-totter. That is why your commodities are coming down. Now, if you remember during this rally, commodities were coming off, then the dollar came off and commodities started to rally. Now the dollar started to rally, and guess where commodities are going? They're coming off like they're supposed to. Commodities, right? That makes perfect sense if the dollar continues rallying like this. That is why your commodities are dropping. Now, there's news, China's not buying as much, blah, blah, blah. There's all this craziness out there, but you don't need any of that because it's impossible to get all that information disseminated and then use it properly. It's all right here in the visual look. It's right there in the chart. This is why your commodities are dropping, because this has been relentless for months on end with just a little brief pullback. So that is my question technically to answer your reasoning on why are commodities dropping. Yes, I can find 1,000 fundamentals. Nonsense. This is why they're dropping. Move on. Traders, why? What does Oscar think of gold? What does the Omni think of gold? Does this chart look familiar? Back in 2012, I brought this chart before your eyes. It's called Official Top. Omni gave Official Top in gold at 1680. At 1680, right there, we called the Official Top. Then I started showing this video almost every day, and when we got past here, the 200 bar moving average, and we broke that on the weekly gold, I said that's it, that's the death knell, there is no way it could go back up. And believe it or not, when we filmed these series of videos calling the top, we called for 980 to 950 in gold. Everybody thought I was crazy. Look at where we are now. 950 to 980 would be here. We're here. Am I still crazy? I know how to call the gold because I use the chart and not my crazed opinion. The gold has been telling me to tell you to sell it. It has been absolutely right. You can ask any Omniac that hangs out at the Omni Trading Academy. Since up here, I don't think I've taken more than 10 bullish calls in gold. Since 2012, we exclusively take the sells, and we have been so much more right in gold than wrong. It is a fantastic way to trade the gold. Sell rallies in gold, that's your minimum target. It may even go lower than that. Am I backseat driving? At 1680, I gave you that target. I maintained that target. I never, ever changed the target. I never once changed my opinion, and look at how close we are now. Bravo for technical analysis. Is the top in for U.S. indices? The next question, and we're going to start it off with a flag. Traders, you've seen this crude oil chart before in many videos. The crude, I showed you a flag and gave you two projections, 50.70, then 48.90. I wrote the projections down and I actually put a target on the chart. I'm showing you this again because there is a reason. It's the bear flag. I want you to see the bear flag and the result in order to answer the question, is the top in for U.S. indices? So, here's your crude oil. Here was the flag. I gave you two projections and I put the target. Here's where it was. And this is what happened. Wow, right? That flag was perfect. Now, flags almost always work. Nothing out there is 100%. Nothing can do that for you. However, flags, my opinion, they're 85% right. You can almost always catch a good trade if you know how to call a flag. So you got to love flags. There is a reason for this. Yes, we were right in crude. That's a wonderful thing. On with the show. This is just to show you a flag. Answering the question, is the top in for U.S. indices? Let's take a look. In fact, let's take a very close look at this chart, traders. This is your NASDAQ chart. This tells so much of a story. It's incredible. Here's what I want you to see. This is my OTAPMA, the Omni Trading Academy's proprietary moving average. So it's called OTAPMA for short, this one right here. You will note that whenever the NASDAQ gets too far away from OTAPMA, it has to come back. Too far away, comes back. Even though the smaller rallies come back. The big ones come back quick. Too far away, comes back. Too far away, comes back. Gets away, comes back. Gets away, comes back. Gets way away, like it never usually does, and it will come back very quickly like it is starting to do now. Our target is at least 150 to 200 points lower, and the likelihood is you will end up down here at this one as well. But let's start with this as our target. In between here and here is our target, 150 to 200 points lower from where the NASDAQ settled on Friday. Here's your settlement Friday. I expect us to head down there. It is almost telltale. I look back for years. You can almost always expect a pullback at least to OTAPMA. Is the top in? Well, let's just keep looking. I don't like the fact that the NASDAQ went and made all-time new highs and nothing else did at all. None of the other indices. That's disturbing. At least here I'm calling for now. E-mini Weekly. What was Chart Masterpiece is not going to be considered Chart Masterpiece after this video. It will be replaced with another very interesting chart. But this Chart Masterpiece, let me show you what happens here. You come down to this line, you make a new high. You come down to this average, you make another new high. You come down to the average, you make a new high. It is constant, it is consistent, it is the way we've used this chart. A new high, a new high, a new high, a new high. Well, look what happened here. You came down and failed to make a new high. The red line represents the new high. You only got to a double top. You did not make a new high, and it's back below OTAPMA. It settled right here. It's back below that average. So I don't know what to tell you. That's actually not OTAPMA, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, OTAPMA is a different color, but it is back below that average, and that's not usual. Not usual. I kid you not. That doesn't happen. So is the top in? It's starting to lean down a little bit, but don't forget we've got Aunt Janet Yellen coming out on Tuesday and Wednesday. She never lets the markets crash. So whatever's going to happen is going to have to happen Monday and Tuesday. We'll see. Let's move on. Dow Jones Industrial Average is the top in. Well, I don't know if the top is in, but this could be Chart Masterpiece, and it was Chart Masterpiece not long ago. And look at this, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Is this not a magnet right here? Is this not a magnet? If you get below this average, you get to this average. It is a magnet. That is what we expect. I don't know that the top is in. I say we come down to the averages first, and then there is this. The reason why I showed you the flags, the three little flags, traders. Transportation average has been deemed the leader of U.S. indices for 100 years. Every now and then it falls out of leadership, but it is the leader overall. Flag 1, market drops. Flag 2, the market drops. Flag 3, the market should drop, and we just built flag 3 below OTAPMA. Oh my goodness. This is the new Chart Masterpiece, baby. Now, here are two conservative targets for you, 77.80 and 76.60 in your Dow Jones Transportation Average. That is what I'm expecting. I don't know if the top is in yet, but I am telling you now, we have until Janet Yellen to have this thing spill off a little bit on Monday and Tuesday, maybe even some of Wednesday, until, of course, Aunt Janet comes back out and makes the market do this for a few days. That seems to be what happens after she speaks, but if you notice, lately it does not last as long as it used to. She is losing her effect. Traders, pull your own charts, do your own analysis. I hope the three little flags helps to keep you in tune with what very likely will come next in our U.S. indices. So, traders, there's your weekend webinar. I really hope I've answered these three questions for you. Why are commodities dropping? The chart showed you the dollar going up. You have no choice when you got the teeter-totter effect. What does Oscar think in the Omni about gold? I've had the same opinion since 2012. It hasn't changed once. It's not going anywhere. Is the top in for U.S. indices? Well, as I said, the NASDAQ is pulling back. The tranny's pulling back. The Dow's going to come down to OTAPMA. I don't know if the top is in, but I say that Janet Yellen, what she says and does, is not having an effect as long as it used to. I absolutely can't stand the fact that NASDAQ went up and made new highs and none of the other indices did. That is very, very, very 2007-ish. We shall see if that's going to be the fate here. I think that this market is a different market, and this market actually has bigger, stronger legs, and after a pullback, it will go up and make new highs. But that's next week, right? This weekend, I've got a red Omni. The weekend webinar tells you why commodities are dropping. Gold should continue to drop even if it rallies. You sell the rallies. The top, I'm not calling official top in the stock market this big and booming, but I will say, does not smell as pretty as it used to just a few weeks ago. Traders, come on down to livewithoscar.com. Come join me in my free trading chat room. It is free. It is there for you. I am there 24 hours a day or just about until I pass out and wake back up for 2 hours. And I go right back at it again. Ask anybody. I am there for you at night for the Europeans and everyone else internationally. I am there in the day for the Americans and everyone else that wants to join us. Our staff is always here. Come join us. All right, traders, that's about it. I'm getting out of here. Remember, Keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things you can do to help yourselves with that is say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, every evening, and you know what that is. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Rock and roll, and I'll see you all at livewithoscar.com in my chat room. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided.